The living room was thick with the scent of floor wax and the low, amber glow of a single lamp. Lily sat centered on the rug, her focus entirely on the weight resting in her lap. Her fingertips moved with practiced, rhythmic precision. She traced the smooth curve of a forehead, the hard ridge of a jawline, and the stillness of eyes that did not blink. She was entirely blind, yet her hands mapped every detail with a cartographer's focus. The surface of the object was unnaturally cold, lacking the warmth of skin or the softness of fabric. She moved her thumb across the cheek, finding a small, jagged indentation near the ear. Beneath her palms, the object felt rigid, its joints locked in a set posture. As she pulled her hand away, a faint, rhythmic tick sounded from within the hollow torso. It was not a clock. It was a mechanical tension, like a spring being wound too tight. Lily tilted her head, her brow drawing into a sharp line. She pressed her ear against the chest of the figure. The internal mechanism groaned, a dry, grinding sound of metal against metal. Then, the object shifted. A small, sharp click echoed in the quiet room as the head rotated a fraction to the left, moving entirely on its own. A raspy, metallic whisper peeled away from the silence, vibrating against Lily's ear. It was a thin, dry sound, devoid of breath. Mom, Dad, Grandma, Uncle Paul. The list hung in the air, disjointed and cold. Lily pulled back, her brow furrowing as she searched for the source of the mechanical voice. The doll's head stayed fixed, yet the sound shifted, dropping an octave to a low, gravelly rasp. The man by the fridge. He is crying. Lily turned her head, facing the empty space near the kitchen counter. Across the room, her father stood frozen, a glass of wine held loosely in his hand. At the mention of the man, his fingers spasmed. The glass hit the hardwood floor with a sharp, violent crash, spraying liquid and shards across the rug. The sound was deafening in the small space. Her mother gripped the edge of the kitchen counter so hard her knuckles turned white, her gaze darting to the empty corner near the refrigerator. The room, once bathed in warm, amber light, suddenly felt pressurized. The air grew dense. Lily remained on the floor, her hands still gripping the doll, while her father stared at the empty space by the fridge, his breath hitching in his throat. Confusion twisted into sharp, immediate alarm. Lily tilted her head, her sightless eyes fixed on the void by the refrigerator. She reached out, her fingers brushing the cold, still air. "Why is he sad, Mom?" The silence that followed was heavy, broken only by the doll's voice, which accelerated into a rapid, rhythmic cadence. "He says he remembers the basement. He says he remembers the shovel." The words landed with the weight of a physical blow. The mother's breath hitched, a sharp, ragged sound that echoed against the kitchen tiles. Across the room, the father's face drained of color, his skin turning a sickly, translucent gray. He did not look at his wife. He stared at the floor, his jaw working as if he were trying to swallow a stone. The guilt was visible, etched into the sudden, frantic tremors in his hands. He moved then, not toward his family, but toward the kitchen block. His movements were jerky, uncoordinated, driven by a surge of pure, desperate survival. He reached for the wooden block and yanked a heavy blade free. The steel caught the dim light, glinting with a dull, menacing edge. He stood there, his chest heaving, the knife held in a white-knuckled grip, his gaze darting around the room, as if he were trying to find an enemy that existed only in his own past. The doll's head snapped toward the father with a sharp, mechanical click. Its voice changed, shedding the raspy quality for a tone that was suddenly, unnaturally sharp. It cut through the room, silencing the labored breathing of the adults. "He is not a ghost. He is the one you buried under the porch." The father's eyes widened, the pupils contracting until they were mere pinpricks of dark glass. A guttural sound erupted from his throat, a mix of animalistic terror and absolute, blinding rage. He lunged toward the empty space by the refrigerator, his boots skidding on the hardwood. He swung the knife in a wild her back rigid. The air in the room seemed to thin, turning sharp and brittle. She spun around slowly,